Hello, Jacqui Ellis. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to come on We Can Learn to Learn podcast. I have been waiting to interview you because you actually started your work because of your own children and their developmental delays. And that led you through a journey where you became a professional at understanding the effect of developmental trauma in babies, children, and adults, which some people don't kind of understand, through hands-on and movement-based therapy.
Mhm.
And your organization is called Deep Connections, and you are near Bath in the UK. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Mina. So pleased to have this opportunity to talk to you. We get very energized when we share, so I can't wait.
Yeah. And I can promise the audience that this is going to be not only incredibly informative, but also it just opens up a portal. And, being a mother myself, I think some people underestimate the importance of pregnancy. And once we understand how we affect an infant in utero,
Mhm.
then I think we can maybe adjust our mentality about it, our mindset about it. So you started working with your children because, and your many of your clients, they come to you because of certain uh, problems they may be having in school. Is that
Mhm.
right? So,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about a case of a young child who you started seeing at 3.
Mm.
And so can you talk a little bit more of how developmental delays, particularly primitive reflexes, can affect children and their cognitive abilities, and also coordination, physical
Mm.
coordination, which are all part of one whole system.
Yeah.
So yes, please talk to us about that.
Mm. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So just to backtrack, I've worked with this program and this method with all three of my children when they were going through primary school because I didn't understand what was going on. I could see potential, I could see bright sparks, but they weren't being ignited in the right way, and I didn't understand it. And we had lots of behavioral fallout. We had lots of difficulties at school. So the difficulties we're talking about are things like difficulties reading, writing, working with and tracking the written word, difficulties with balance and coordination. I had a son who couldn't kick a football without falling over, ride a bike, ride a scooter, run in an uncoordinated way. I had another lad who found it really difficult to sit still. He was constantly fidgeting. It was like he wasn't listening to anything. He was distracted and distracting others. So we're talking about the person or the child in the classroom that becomes the naughty kid.
Correct.
N- None of the parents want their kids to be the naughty kid, right? It's mortifying to find out that that's the label that your child has. So, yeah, we were talking before we came on this call about a little lassie that I started working with when she was 3.5.
Right.
Um, because mum brought her because there was difficulties in the relationship between the two of them.
Yeah,
So, child very angry, very frustrated, saying things like, I hate you, you're mean, you're not nice to me, I don't like you, I don't want you to be my mom. Which is, as a parent, as a mother, this is mortifying, right?
totally.
Totally. I mean, we do everything we can for our little people to help them, support them to achieve their best. And when something like that is constantly being reflected back to us, it's really difficult as a parent to hold. I've been in this space too.
Yes.
But I was saying to you, her first session, mum brought her here, and I set it up for a craniosacral integrated baby therapy type session. And I put my therapy table up as an opportunity for the children to make a den under it, or, it's a very effectively therapeutic play.
Right.
And on this occasion, I placed two dolls, just normal playing dolls, that were dressed in knitted clothing, um, on the top of the therapy table, just leant against a cushion. When she orientated into the room, she then climbed up onto the therapy table, got each doll by its arm, and whammed it down onto the mat on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like, so I was just, okay. Because my role is to just hold a safe space and be curious.
Yes.
So I was like, wow, that's really powerful behavior.
Right.
You really didn't want them in your space, did you? Not sure what that's about. We've just arrived. And I looked over to Mum, and Mum is literally gazing out the window.
Mm.
So I bring her back in and I said, hi, how are you doing? And she said, oh, yeah, no, I'm okay. Oh, wow. And she picked up the fact that the dolls are on the floor. And I said, I'm just wondering if you have any insight into that. And she said, no. I mean, she keeps talking to me about the fact that she'd like a sister. When am I going to have another baby?
Yeah.
Which isn't going to happen. But no. I said, so does she play with dolls? No, not really. So I was just really curious about this.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go on. I end up working with Mum one-to-one, because it's obvious that she's holding something in her container that
Right.
potentially is overcoupling. So child experience, mother experience, overcoupling, and creating these issues and this dynamic that's going on.
Right.
So long, tall, and short of it is that did the work with Mum, things settled down a bit. Kitty went to school.
Yeah.
She's now 8.
Yes.
She's just coming out of year 2 here in the UK, so that's the end of Key Stage 1. And it's where we get assessed. We assess our children's, national statistical tables and things are all correlated around the results that individual children get,
Yeah.
school placement and everything. So a mum came to me and at the beginning of the year and she said, I'm just really concerned because it feels like she's struggling with reading and writing.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to notice how difficult this is for her because she doesn't want her to fall behind.
Yes.
And, she wants to help support her to achieve.
Yes.
So she brings her in for reflex integration therapy. So just to explain a little bit about that. As we come into this world and we develop through the womb, obviously we start off as 2 cells, an egg and a sperm, right?
Miraculous.
It is. It's totally miraculous. But, we come in, that conception happens, then we have to implant into the womb wall, and then we start to develop our neurology. Now, as we go through that journey and that process, there are different reflexes, reactions that develop as
They're
our neurology.
automatic. They're
Yes,
automatic, right? Yeah.
absolutely. We are absolutely primed to do this. This is our journey. This is our sequence of development that we go through. Okay. The difficulty is that we have experiences in womb. Now, that's not only difficult for the little one, fetus, call them the prenate, okay, the unborn, but it's also difficult for mum to understand
Yes.
because mum's not on the inside.
That's right.
Mum isn't the one that's having this experience. Potentially a lot of cynicism about this. What I'm talking about is pre and perinatal psychology
Yeah.
and research into the baby's experience, the embryo's experience, the fetus's experience. The fact that we are actually sentient. We have an element of consciousness
Yes.
and therefore body cellular memory. Our experiences are embodied because we're developing,
Yes.
right? So there are a number of reflexes that come in, emerge during womb journey that are either need to be used, i.e., through birth, in order to be matured so that they can then transform, or they mature and transform in utero. So that's nature's program. That's nature's design. The difficulty is if we suffer shock, intervention of some sort,
Or stress, chronic stress.
mother's maternal stress, because as I say to all of my mothers, we marinade in mum.
Yes,
Mum is our world at this stage.
that's right.
And our journey through womb is the equivalent to a lifetime. We're two cells
Yes.
that come together that become this.
Yes. Ugh,
This is massive change in development, right? The analogy or the comparison or the same story is we go from here to
yeah.
old age pensioner, right?
Yes.
That's a journey. That's a lifetime. That's another chapter. So the womb journey is a chapter, all right? And as we're going through this journey, we're developing our central nervous system.
Correct.
And our central nervous system is working with these reflexes, right? So
The- These are also called primitive reflexes because I just want everybody to know some of the
go
different,
on.
names.
Yeah. So the first one to emerge is the fear paralysis,
Yes.
which is effectively withdrawal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people may have heard of the morrow or the baby startle reaction. I'm going to do this slowly, but this is when the child jumps,
That's right.
right?
Yeah, they go.
This also is known as the fight flight response,
Oh, yes.
right? Which lots of people have heard about. So it's like, okay, do I fight?
Right.
So it's attached to anger, or do I run
Right.
away?
Right. Right.
Okay. Now, obviously, the difficulty for little one in the womb is we can't.
Yeah.
All right. So we have to cope with this. And experiences that happen to us in utero
Yeah.
put glitches in our neurology. Now, in the pre and perinatal world, we talk about imprints.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like the way I describe it and show it to parents is, if you hold your hand up and you press really hard in a place, you
Yes.
take your finger away,
Yeah.
and I don't know whether you can see this light. It's
Yeah.
light, right?
That's right.
But
That's right.
then it comes back to color.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's not there anymore.
Yeah. It's
It's
invisible.
not, yeah, it's disappeared, right? But it's within the cells. So what happens is lots of littlies come into life. We then have to go through birth, which is another huge transitional process in itself,
Yeah.
which, in the States, the intervention is massive. Here in the UK, we are currently at about 50% cesarean section.
Yeah.
We're about 82% hospital. So it's very medicalized birth now. All right. So there's lots of impact for the little one on that.
Yeah.
Most parents don't understand this. I didn't understand this when I was birthing my guys, when I was pregnant with my guys. So I'm on a mission, Mina, to
Yeah.
share this stuff, to get this stuff out there.
Yes.
But what happens is we come into life with our neurology still being immature. So we haven't developed, matured, and transformed all of the reflexes that are there for our survival. So
Correct.
we arrive in survival. Okay. Now, the fear paralysis should not still be with us when we're born. The morrow should be, okay, because that's about keeping us safe. We can't get up and run away when we're newborn. We can't do that until we're, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years old, actually, right? We can't verbalize, help me. All we can do is make a movement. If the baby does this, mum knows there's something wrong. I'm going to go to the baby,
Yeah.
right? So it's the baby's signaling, it's the baby's warning. But again, this nature designs us to go through this developmental sequence of movements
Yeah.
to mature and transform these reflexes. Another one called tonic labyrinthine reflex. So this is the extension of the neck. Now,
Yeah.
if we're going to come out through here,
Yes.
we need to extend the head so we can then pull the body out.
Can you orient people like
I
the
can.
spine
Okay.
and the,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is mum's pelvis.
okay,
This is the spine.
right.
This is known, oh, can I show it? As the
Yeah.
lumbar sacral promontory.
Right.
Now, I want you to just look at the size of this bone,
Wow.
right? It's our support network, right? It's what keeps us everything above us up in this biped position, all
Correct.
right? But this is a huge thing that the baby has to negotiate.
Yes.
Look how thick it is,
Unbelievable. I have
right?
no idea.
So in the average woman, this is about, I would say 3.5 centimeters
Okay.
thick. It's
Hmm.
very dense bone.
Hmm.
Okay. So little one, we're going to do usual way of coming in. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm inviting everybody to make sure that they're grounded. They feel their feet and their butt on the chair or wherever they are when they're watching this. So little one usually comes in head first, right?
Yes.
Down this way.
Yes.
So we are negotiating that bone
Yes.
coming into the pelvis. This is engaged,
Right.
right? Okay. We're then surrounded by bone,
Yes.
right? We need to come here.
Right.
Now, this is not being facilitated right now because the head is in the wrong position. The head needs to turn. So the baby needs to make some sort of rotation.
And it's totally instinctual. That's the primitive reflex.
This, yes, it's thought that the asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, which is one of the ones that I haven't mentioned yet, helps this maneuver to happen.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And the ATNR, as it's known, is matured by doing this process.
The the asymmetrical tonic.
Tonic neck reflex.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So we're now in a position where we're fitting better in alignment with here. So we can move down and then we activate the tonic labyrinthine, the TLR,
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
right?
Yes.
But then we have our shoulders. Now our shoulders are wider than the space that we're in right now.
Right. Oh.
So there's another rotation that needs to happen. ATNR again,
Oh.
either here or here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that we can birth one. Let's unhook her. Two. And then we arrive.
Oh, nice. What a relief.
Yeah, let's all breathe.
What a relief.
Now, if there are mums on this call, they may have really felt their birth happening to them again because we have tissue memory. So you may have relived one of your experiences. So I just invite you to feel your feet, wiggle your toes and your fingers, and just allow any of those residues to just shift through your nervous system.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. It may have unwittingly activated your birth process, mum, as well. Because don't forget, you are a soul that has come through and you've had your experience of birth that was not your mother's. She was the portal in the container that you came in through.
Right.
So, like, your child has their own experience of their birth that's not yours as the mother, of carrying them, of going through all of that sickness or whatever you were with. That's your experience. But the baby feels it as
Interesting.
they're marinating in that container. Yeah. So we've talked about the ATNR, we've talked about the TLR, which is the
Yes.
extension
Yes.
here. The ATNR is where the hand is effectively in connection and moves only with the head. So as the head goes that way, the hand also goes that way.
Oh,
So can you see how this facilitates a rotation,
sure. Yeah.
right? So we need this for birth. So
Right.
therefore, when I'm working with clients and I'm getting history, I'm really interested. Oh no, it was a C-section.
Yeah.
I'm interested. Oh, was that emergency or planned? Oh, it was an emergency. Oh, because the little one got stuck. Yeah, it was horrible. I totally get it. I hear you. Yeah, but the little one got stuck. Maybe because this was not working,
Mm.
right? So we have a developmental sequence
Right.
that nature, Mother Nature invites us to move through from conception.
Yes.
All right.
Right.
And if there's a glitch in the neurology, i.e., an experience that causes that neural connection not to come in, not to be formed, we
Right.
have to figure out another way of doing something,
Yes.
right? Or we can't do something,
Right.
right? So then that plays out in our lives in present day. So, when you have school children that are struggling to read and write,
Yes.
I'm intrigued. What was their birth like?
Yeah.
You know? So let's just look at that. Mum could sit here and say, oh, it was vaginal birth and it was great, it was fine, and really quick. She absolutely slid out. Okay, that seems okay, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's a fast birth, isn't it? Like she just slid out.
Right. So again, this is not being used because we just shoot down the road.
Yeah.
So the ATNR is probably immature, right? So let's just talk about the ATNR because this is one of the things that presents a lot in school. And then
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the symptomatic tonic neck reflex, the STNR,
Okay.
because these are the two that teachers predominantly see, and this is what produces the behavior, right?
Right.
So the ATNR, imagine literally on the floor, yeah? Ideally, we're supposed to transform this so it's no longer active by the end of 4 months.
After birth.
So after birth, right? So we have 35% of our population walking around with this still active or underdeveloped.
Mm. Because
Okay,
of
so in the
cesarean,
classroom,
because of cesarean birth or fast birth.
potentially, but there could be. So I'm just going to get my drawing out. I might need to share my screen, Mina, because I don't know whether you can see this.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do see it. Reflex.
Right, so this is the developmental spiral curve.
Nice. I love that drawing of yours. Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
So if this one is still active, that's going to hold up that one, and that one,
It's
right?
foundational.
So if we have exactly, and I talk a lot to parents about, if you're going to build your house, where are you going to build it? Oh, I'm going to build it on hard bedrock. Okay. If you're building it, what's the design? Oh, it's going to have at least four corners. Okay. So that's stable, right? These are the pillars that you build your life, your home on. All right. Let's look at the baby. Yeah? The child. You want a good learning foundation so they can then grow up. I talk a lot about the pyramid of development. The reflexes are right at the bottom layer. Okay? If these are underdeveloped, these are immature, they're not working properly, that's like building your house with three pillars on quicksand,
Yeah, correct.
right? So the child is trying to figure out how the hell do I do this to the best of my ability? But
Right.
boy, this is exhausting. It's taking up so much energy.
Right.
I'm now grumpy. I'm going to get angry. Don't ask me to do anything else because I just can't. I'm overwhelmed and I'm just, now I need to move and I'm running out of the classroom,
Yeah, that's right.
for example, right? So the ATNR, what is the purpose of the ATNR? That's all about the eyes as well. So it facilitates this truncal rotation,
Yeah.
okay? But it means that there is a midline in the body, and therefore we only work from a homolateral perspective. One side does, one side does. I don't have a cross-lateral function. So when you are asking children,
If it's not integrated.
yeah. So one of the tests, easy, I'm going to see if I can do this and still be on screen. Give the child an object. Let's use this, it's much easier. Michelle, right? Okay, you're standing here with your arms out. Can you pass that to the other hand?
Right.
They're working on their midline.
Right.
One side, one side.
Right.
If they have cross-lateral function, they'll do that.
Oh, wow.
So again, when you're asking a child, can you touch your knee with your hands? This is an ATNR child.
Mm-hmm.
So they haven't got that.
Yeah.
They haven't got that cross-laterality because their midline is really strong. I can only function in this side or this side.
Right.
So we have a body that's segmented side to side. The ATNR is all about developing ocular motor function. So this is not necessarily about seeing, but it is about developing binocular vision. It is about being able to fixate and focus on an object whilst the rest of the body is in addition. Think about playing tennis. You have to track that ball, you've got to coordinate, and then you come to hit it, right? If I have an ATNR that's immature and underdeveloped, I'm not going to be a very good tennis player. Ball coming in, racket back, connect. Oh, it's gone over there.
Right.
Okay. So these kiddies have difficulty playing sport, racket sport, cricket sport, and being able to hit the ball with accuracy or get
Yeah.
it to go in the direction they want it to do, right?
Correct.
So what are we doing? We arrive, eyes are very immature, right?
Yeah.
We're a mammal that has to negotiate this very cramped entry space. Okay.
Yes.
So our brain cannot develop sufficiently. All
Yes.
right. So we come in very immature because our head cannot get too big. Otherwise, we're never going to come through there. Right. So there is a joke, but it's a fact. We need to spend the first 9 months of life developing the neurons, all these other mammals. What can they do within 5 minutes of being born? They get up, they stand.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Giraffes. It's the most miraculous thing. Or horses. These
Yeah.
gigantic animals.
Yeah, we can't do that because we haven't developed our brain sufficiently because we can't, because our head would be too big and we'd never get out of
Right.
that womb space, right? So we spend the first 9 months of our lives going through that second stage of neurological development in order to mature our central nervous system so that we can become this biped mammal that stands on 2 feet, runs, walks, and everything, okay?
Right.
So when we arrive, the eyes can focus on me
Yeah.
approximately 7 centimeters, enough to see my shape and understand, along with the smell
Yeah.
and all those other things, that actually this is my mom
Yes.
and I'm okay here, right? But in life, I need to be able to look over there and understand, is that safe? So how do I do that? This is the role of the ATNR. So go back to the baby. They're lying on the floor. Their hands are like this. Their feet maybe are up. And then all of a sudden they start moving a hand. And you can see the baby go, oh, oh, oh.
Right. Right. It's
It's like they found their hands, right?
yeah, it's
We say,
uncoordinated.
yeah. But we
Or
say, oh, look, they found their hands. Oh, looking at the hands. This
right.
is nature saying, here's an object, it's moving, and now I need you to focus on this. Because this is the first tracking, fixation tracking,
Right.
right? Now, obviously, hands attached to arms a bit further away,
Yeah.
right? So nature is encouraging us to fixate over here.
Yeah.
Okay. I always talk about, the little one learning to feed themselves, because that happens at about 4 or 5 months. Okay. This is when we start sitting them in some sort of high chair or something like that, right?
Right.
So let's say, here we are, food on the food tray. I don't have a pincer grip at this point.
Right.
I have a 1-digit
Yes.
grip. So I do this.
Yes.
And then I try and do that.
Right.
Right? I'm
Right.
feeding myself. I might get distracted, right? And all of a sudden my hand goes over here. So my head follows too. But the difficulty is, and just think about the kiddie that's writing here. As I come over here, my grip loses its grip.
Yeah. Mm.
And it drops on the floor. The
Hmm.
food that I wanted to eat drops on the floor.
Mm.
Makes a nightmare mess for mum, hey, but this is
Yeah.
nature, right?
Right.
So the distance of me looking at the floor is bigger than the length of my arm, right?
Yes. All
So
right.
again, what
Yes.
I'm doing is I'm developing, nature's helping me to develop binocular vision,
Right.
right? And then we mature it even further so that we can do it without moving our head,
Right. That's right.
okay? Because we have isolated the eyes and the eye oculomotor function
Yes.
from our body, right? So when you're in school, teachers, and you've got a little one and you're asking them to hold a book
Yeah.
and they're reading, this is one of the key things that I'm inviting you to look for that will give you a heads up that there's an ATNR there. When they're reading, they're doing that.
Oh, wow.
Or they might do that. That's not so prevalent, but this is, right? And what do we ask them to do? If you put your pinky finger here underneath the words that you're reading, right? And you can follow. So what are we doing? We're working with the ATNR.
Mm.
But children who have not networked this reflex will say things to me like, when they've done the work, oh my God, I didn't realize the words weren't supposed to move. They've always been all over the place.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So they're working so hard. These kids are working so hard, right? Now I'm talking about what I would call the grey children, those that are okay to be in mainstream,
Yeah.
but they're sitting below, just above that sort of Senko line of needing intervention. They're sort of okay, but not great, but they're doing okay to get by, right?
Right.
So many of these kids are intellectual, they're intelligent, right? But their body is preventing them from achieving their true potential.
Right. Right.
That causes behavior overflow.
Sure. Well,
Yeah,
not only that, and not to mention how it affects their self-worth. I'm not
totally.
good enough. And then
Yeah,
the shame of not being able to do something, to perform.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. So
That,
let's go back to the little 3.5-year-old,
yes.
right? That we started talking about at the beginning of this.
Yes.
So, working with mom, she's worked through a lot of her history. She understands that she's a womb survivor. That means that she came in with another that didn't make the whole journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that her mother didn't know anything about because it's
Yeah.
not her experience. Um, Little girl starts the movement program and she's saying things like, can you have another baby? I really want another baby. I want a sibling. I really, really want a sister. This is becoming a big thing. And she's got to a point where she's become really, really reluctant. So I was sharing before we came on the call that they're due to come in for a review for the program tomorrow. And they've been working with a very gentle movement, which is just about moving very slowly on a spinning chair, a swivel chair.
Hmm.
Because what we're working with is the vestibular, the balance system, all right, which is part of the proprioceptive system, part of us understanding where our body is in space and how it is in relationship to the seat that I'm sat on, the floor, and whatever. Okay.
Right.
So the vestibular is very often immature if the reflexes are immature and underdeveloped, because the primitive reflexes are based in the vestibular.
Interesting. The
Yeah.
primitive reflexes are based in the vestibular.
Yeah.
And somebody told me that I mean, an OT told me that the vestibular is one of the first septions, right? First proprioceptive awarenesses to develop.
Yeah. Week 7 to 9 post-conception,
Wow.
right?
Yeah,
This is when this is developing and coming online.
right.
All right. For most women, that's just after we found out that we're pregnant.
That's right.
Yeah.
Really
Okay.
early.
I know. And the other thing is, what else develops at week 7 to 9,
Yes.
reflex wise? The morrow.
Ah,
So
interesting.
the morrow is coming in and emerging at a similar time.
The Moro. And of course, we've got the fear paralysis happening before that. That's the first reflex.
Yeah, yeah. And these two reflexes are about survival,
Yes.
totally about survival. So even if we've networked them through the program, if we go through a traumatic event, they will come back out and become active to protect us because
Because,
that's their job. We need to work with movement.
yeah,
You know, you can't override it always because it's subconscious. It's a subconscious reaction. It's a reflex. It just happens.
that's right.
So what we've got to do is we've got to do the movement. The baby spends the first 9 months doing various movements in
Yes.
a developmental sequence. Yeah. So they're on the floor. They have to learn how to move their head independently and build those neck muscles. Then
Yes.
they learn that they've got sides and they
Yes.
start rolling. Then they learn that they can sit up, maybe.
Yeah.
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 Push up.
Yeah.
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 Crawling. Very important. We're going to come back to that in a minute. So
Yeah.
again, as the practitioner, I'm interested to understand, did the child do all these things? And if
Yeah.
they did them, how long did they do them? Because
Uh,
actually, crawling for a week is not long enough, right? Because the baby works on repetition
we all do.
over again.
We all do.
You do. You're right. Yeah. Okay. So back to this little kitty. So one of the key statements that she's saying to mum as well is I try and make you and daddy really, really happy because I don't want to get banished from the home.
Wow.
Wow. So I said to mum tonight, have you ever said that to her? You know, I mean, sometimes when we're really cross, we say bonkers things, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not totally together. She went, no, no. Oh my God, no. I said, oh, okay. So I want to take you back to that first session.
Yes. Where she threw the dolls off.
Absolutely, Mina. What was she effectively showing there? What was she saying and showing?
The fear.
Yeah. But I've banished those babies. She moved them out, but not just move them out. She didn't tenderly pick them up and put them somewhere. She threw them out.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So I said to mum, I'm interested about that. Yeah. And then she's saying, I'm not coming to see Jacqui because she's mean. I don't want to be there around her. You know, I don't want to see her. I hate her. I was like, oh, okay. So I know that I'm not mean. I know nothing that I do here is mean. Mum knows that I'm not mean.
Right.
So I said to mum, I said, okay, I'm interested in this because she's really saying something.
Yeah.
This is subconscious narrative that's coming in. So I said to her, Mum, I said, so, what's the biggest thing about coming here? She says, well, she doesn't like the fact that, she has to do all the assessments and,
Of course.
and you're spending time with her. I said, oh, yeah, okay. So I go back into the birth history, into the womb, the pregnancy history. And this child was developing, as a prenate, she was developing very slowly.
Mm.
So she was measuring small for dates. That meant that mum needed lots of tracking and scans to check that everything was okay.
Yeah.
So let's just imagine that. Mum's told, oh, your baby's not developing very well. What does that mean?
Well, talk about stress.
Marinating in the pot, right?
Yeah, with cortisol and adrenaline.
Totally. So then, before we go for every scan, what's mum going to be thinking? Oh, I hope everything's okay. I hope she's grown this time. I hope she's going to be in the normal percentile. I hope she's going to be, at least above 25 percentile. Oh, hi. Okay, so your baby's measuring just below the 10th percentile.
God.
Right? So, whilst lots of people do not believe this, whilst lots of people do not want to understand this, because it raises all sorts of questions, right?
Yes.
What is that little one thinking every time she's scanned? Every time something is coming over that womb like this, and there's all this chitter chatter going on, and then the mum reacts, uh-oh. What's she thinking?
And all the hormones. that
Yeah.
she's secreting because
Yeah.
of the fear.
Yeah. So, when I'm reviewing her, she says, I don't need this. I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need to do this. I'm okay. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Why is she saying that? Her imprint is, uh-oh, you're too small. Uh-oh, you're not doing very well. Uh-oh, you're underdeveloped. And
Yeah.
I'm eyeballing you through this scan,
Yeah.
creating all this stress and worry for mum that
Right.
you're now feeling, right?
Yep.
So, why would she want to come and see me, who puts her through assessments every time she comes here? I actually measure her height because I'm interested in whether she's had a growth spurt. And then I say, okay, now you've got to do this.
Yeah. Of
We can see why she doesn't want to come,
course.
but she can't explain that. She can't verbalize it the way that, because this is a subconscious memory that's pre-verbal. Everything before 4 is pre-verbal,
It's
right?
felt,
So all we can do is act it out,
it's a felt scan.
express it, behave. Exactly, Mina. Exactly. Yeah. So this is all coming out in school, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I will see if she comes. If she doesn't want to come, I'm not going to force her. I've said to mum, we'll have a conversation. It may be that mum needs to do more work with me and we'll see how that progresses. And it may be that it's not the right time for her to
Correct.
do this. She might
Correct.
come back, right?
Correct.
She may need to have more awareness that actually, you know, Abigail over here is writing a page and I'm only writing 3 sentences.
Yeah.
That's really difficult, right?
Right.
But in the classroom, that's how it's going to come out. It's going to come out with distracted behavior. It's going to come out with I'm zoning out and I'm looking out over there somewhere and I'm
Escape.
dissociating. Yeah,
Escape.
because I'm overwhelmed and
Yeah.
I subconsciously know I can't do this, but I have this expectation. So again, the teacher becomes the what you call them, the person that does the ultrasound.
Yeah. And also can become the attachment figure.
Yes.
And
If this is the power of this, right? Because that brings us on to another thing, doesn't it, Mina?
yeah.
Right? How many people in the medical profession, when you talk to them about retained reflexes, go, "Oh, don't be ridiculous. There's no research to validate that. That isn't something that exists. Yes, we know it really reflexes exist, but it doesn't impact anybody going forward." I face this conversation all the time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
So it's because they will not accept retained reflexes unless there is etiology.
A what?
Etiology. There is a disease, illness, reason
Uh-huh.
for it being there,
I see.
right?
I
They
see.
don't recognize it as something that just is.
They
And
don't,
therefore they don't.
yeah, they don't recognize that there is the symptom, right? The sensations and or the trigger or whatever. And then if it doesn't result in some kind of disease or end organ
Mhm.
um, incapacitation, they
Yeah,
don't recognize the intervening variable, which would be
mm,
retained reflexes, right?
yeah,
Of the
yeah,
nervous system,
yeah, yeah.
which
So
can,
what happens? If
yeah.
we live in a life of survival and stress, we manifest the disease that they're looking for.
And in the end,
Exactly.
yeah,
Right? So I'm all about actually, let's get back to the root of the issue. Let's work with this over here so that we can clear the way here for a smooth way, journey, passage forward. Yeah.
yes,
So, and likewise, and it's because medical training doesn't cover this, doesn't cover this angle. Yeah. It's
even the
like
insurance,
school educational training. Yeah. Don't
yeah,
cover it.
that's right.
Teachers don't know about it.
No,
They
they
don't
don't.
understand the reason for the behavior. And as I always say to the parents, you've come to me because you've read about retained reflexes and you've put the 2 pieces of the puzzle together. Little Johnny's not doing very well. He's struggling with reading and writing, but everything else is sort of okay. So maybe it's retained reflexes.
Yeah,
I work holistically. Reflexes are retained because there is trauma in here,
right. Yeah,
right? That has put a glitch in the neurology.
right. And I love the fact that you're saying there's a glitch, because a glitch can be repaired. It's not a disease, it's not a
No,
death sentence, it's not a disorder per se.
no. Exactly. And that's really important because when parents understand that if I do a developmental movement program, my child can network this and become more whole. We
That's
can get them to, our central nervous system should be mature by the time we're 3.5. So you have in the classroom newborn babies trying to write age 8, because that's where their neurology is stuck. Use scissors, write sentences. Yeah. Once teachers, I think, can understand that, when
yes,
we all understand this, we come into our heart and we go, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, and slam teachers. These people are very special,
very. And they
Their
get it from
whole,
all angles.
they do, Mina. And their desire, they've gone into this profession because they want to enable and empower, the next generation.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this neurology foundational bit of the developmental pyramid
Yes,
is vital because
correct.
we all need to understand this, yeah? So just before we build this to a close, because, I could talk about this forever,
I
as you can
know, and
tell.
I love listening to you. There is
We're just gonna,
there is neuroplasticity,
yes.
and that's providing us with hope.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
speak to that in terms of
Yeah.
just closing it for this interview. There will be many, many more, because I think teachers are going to benefit so much by
Mhm.
learning and listening to what you have to say.
Mm. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly cover synsymmetric tonic neck reflex,
Okay.
STNR,
Okay.
right? So we've talked about the ATNR, which is a midline here.
Yeah.
The STNR is a midline here. So
Ah,
top does something different and in opposition to bottom. So
yes.
we've got top half of body, bottom half of body.
Yes.
In the classroom, these are the children that find difficult to sit still.
Yes.
Because when I come down to write, my top body is coming in. What do you think the bottom part of the body wants to do?
It wants to anchor, maybe.
That's how they compensate. It wants to move away,
Right. Right.
extend, right? I'm
Because,
bringing this in.
yeah.
The bottom wants to push out and extend, right?
Right.
So you're right. You anchor to compensate. So this is another neuro pathway that has to be used subconsciously by the child. So you find children sitting with their feet behind the footrail on the stool,
Yeah.
their feet wrapped around the legs of their chair, their feet on the chair. They write sitting on their foot.
Oh, I never made
They
that
write
connection.
kneeling on the chair because what we're doing, or they write standing. So they might start off sat down, and then as they get into the work, they end up like that, standing, writing, because I've anchored my feet and I've anchored my legs.
Right.
So as a teacher, I've been a teaching assistant. Can you sit down, please? Yes, Mrs. Ellis, I'll do that. 2 minutes, up we get again.
Right.
Can I sit down, please? Yes, Mrs. Ellis, I'll do that. The whole time we're asking them to do that, we're interrupting their thought process. So they're losing their place in their work, so they don't produce,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you can tell them until the cows come home. It ain't going to stop them doing it because this is a reflex. It's not a conscious, oh, I need to ankle my legs, I need to stand up to do my writing.
Yeah.
The body reacts that way, right?
Yeah.
So
And
these are the kids that are all over the place.
not to mention the teacher, after twice or three times telling the kid to sit down, is going to get pretty annoyed. And then you have that face. And then, of
Yes.
course, the face, the kid is thinking, oh, I'm doing something wrong. There's something wrong with me. I'm going to be in trouble. She's going to talk to my parents or whatever
Yeah.
for
And
something.
the other kids are going, "Ah, she's always
Right.
having a go at you. You're not doing very well, are you?"
Right.
So then, this is how we point out they're different. I could go on and on. Bullying, playground activity, blah, 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 right? So let's pull this all together.
Yes.
Retained reflexes are real, everybody. But the brilliant news is that what we do as practitioners, and I really need to say this, right? You can get a lot on YouTube, you can Google a lot, right? But we're working with the neurology of an individual that's fragile and immature.
Yeah.
Please go find somebody that's trained in this,
Yes.
understands what they're doing, right?
Yes.
But we can sort this out by giving that child's body the chance to go back through that first 9 months of movement.
Right.
We go back in and we put those connections in,
Yes. Yes. And
mature it.
exactly. And I think that this interview is so valuable because it's not so much that teachers are going to create movement programs that is going to fix the retained reflexes or integrate the retained
Mhm.
reflexes. But if the teacher understands what may be going on, then they can inform the parents, and then the parents can move from that bit of information to find the correct specialist, as opposed to not being compassionate with the child and drilling it and making the child feel badly, not because they want to make the child feel badly, but because it sets up this dynamic where people don't understand why people are behaving in certain ways,
Yeah.
which may be completely below their conscious awareness, automatic because of their nervous system. So you don't
Yeah.
have to be a neurosurgeon to be neurosavvy,
No.
right? But you can be a teacher who is neurosavvy and can then be compassionate and talk to the parents and maybe give some pointers, which is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely, Mina. Because when we can understand as a parent, I've been here, and we understand what's going on, we are so much more compassionate about the way
That's right.
that we hold the space,
Yes,
manage it, you know?
yes, yes.
So it's a benefit to everybody. And this is what I say to, the families that come in and say, oh, I want you to work with my guy because blah. And I turn around and say, I'm working with all of you.
Yes, it's not just the kid.
No,
No, it's
because mum has to be the safe space. If
yes,
mum's not the safe space, dad's not the safe space, that morrow and fear paralysis ain't going to go away because that's keeping the kiddie safe,
correct. And if the
right?
teacher is not creating a safe space in the classroom because of all the stuff that's going on with her or him,
Mhm. Mhm.
then again, the child, the morrow, and the
Yeah,
fear paralysis are going to be activated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, Jacqui, I can't thank you enough. And I can promise everybody that Jacqui will be back. I waited months for this interview. I will wait as long as it takes to get Jacqui back to teach us teachers how to recognize certain things in our children for which they're not responsible. It's automatic.